Youth Ministry Nation, I'm Kurt, AC. Let's talk about youth ministry. Dude, as always, my good friend, good to see you. What's up? What are we talking about today? Now, just so they know, we usually don't even talk about this. You come in and go, hey, here's what we might talk about. Or I come in and say, hey, let's talk about this. And then we turn on the thing. And that's why the quality of the show. Because we don't put any prep time into it. It's not, by the way, it's not a show. It's not a show. It's just a little video.
Or V-blog.
A V-blog.
Whatever they call
vlog?
it. I think so.
A vlog. A video log.
For more than dodgeball.com.
Yes. All right. So, on today's video blog post.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Today, don't look over here.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
All right. Today is Ask Questions to Kurt. Or Ask Kurt Questions. All right. I am going to fire off 10 questions, and you will answer them.
So we'll talk about it together.
No. I'm just going to throw them out there.
Okay.
And it's on you.
So we have 10 minutes to get through 10 questions.
10 minutes, and we've already burned one.
And you're not helping.
And I'm not helping.
Okay.
I may
Can
say...
I at least wear my AC hat?
Yeah. I may say, praise the Lord, or
speak it. Okay.
I may agree if you're talking good.
At some point, AC, please say, praise the Lord, and speak it.
I may say that if you're talking good.
Speak it or preach it?
Speak it, preach it, make it plain.
When I grew up in more of a Pentecostal church, and people would say, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
This
So
like
give me a few of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
All right.
You're doing it. All
Okay,
right.
so these are quick
These
answers.
are quick questions.
Disclaimer, not thought out. I don't know what they are.
No.
I probably won't be able to give extensive answers. Okay, let's do it.
And these are questions that I've had conversations about. So
Like
this
with our
is
volunteers,
okay. Other people in youth ministry.
Okay.
So these are like, I
Yep.
feel like the Youth Ministry Nation
I'm looking
will relate
down.
to this.
I'm looking down. I notice people say, "Never look at this." So I gotta think. I gotta put on my thinking cap.
This one is probably you've already gotten questions about this one, but I feel like we can never hear enough about this. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. How do you balance ministry?
Somebody's knocking on the door. You want to answer that?
Somebody
real quick?
says.
Real quick. Let's answer that. Let's just cut into our question time.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in. Though. That's okay. All right.
That's Leo.
Leo.
I
One of
love
our
that
college
guy.
pastors. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay, really quick. How do you balance ministry with being a husband and father?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe in balance at all. I believe in health. I think ministry combined with family, combined with husband, father, friend, personal interests, does not allow for a balanced lifestyle. We have signed up as ministers of the gospel, whether we're full-time, part-time, volunteer. It is unbalanced. It is crazy. It is chaotic. So I strive for health. And what I mean by that is balance sort of implies everything gets its perfect amount of time every week. And, I'm constantly, and I don't think you can do that. So I strive for a healthy lifestyle in the midst of chaos. And I think if you were to ask my wife or my kids or my friends, they would say, yeah, Kurt's not very balanced. His life's kind of crazy. But he's got a great marriage.
Yeah.
He's a good friend. He loves his kids. His kids love him. I think he's healthy. So I don't strive for balance. I strive
I'm glad you said that.
Health.
Here is Kurt's family. Let's ask them that.
They're not here. They're all in counseling.
No, that's good.
Okay.
That's good stuff, dude. I've come to know that very quickly. Second one. How do I approach my senior pastor for more budget money? Or should I?
Oh, shit. Well, yes and no. I mean, you should.
Yeah.
Realistically, you have to understand your pastor or whoever it is, they're ultimately responsible, and they've got 1,000 things that the church is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And most churches have 1,000 things with limited income. But I would just be direct, and I would always have a case. So you can't ask for more money without backup.
Yeah.
Here's why we need more money. Here's what we want to do. Here's what we think the money will help us accomplish. And just be honest and direct and build your case. Some people watching are going, we've never had money for
Right.
And so if you have a budget, you're blessed.
Yeah.
And so don't be greedy.
Any amount.
Don't be greedy,
Yeah.
but don't be afraid to just be direct, have a case, have a reason, and have what you think will be accomplished with that money.
Wow, that's good, dude. All right. What are your thoughts on staff dating each other? So you have some lovebirds.
So you have a couple volunteers.
Maybe volunteers.
Yep.
Or staff.
Yep.
That are.
Well, here's my thoughts. You can't stop the love. You can't stop the love. Preach it.
Can't
You can't stop. You can't stop the love. You can try, but you can't stop the love.
Amen.
So my thoughts are, it may not always be ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Talk to people ahead of time. Hey, here's what needs to happen. My line when we have 2 of our interns dating or 2 of our paid staff dating, my line is always the same. If it gets goofy, something's gonna have to change.
Okay.
And by the way, I'll tell you when it's goofy.
Yeah.
Because they won't know when it's goofy.
Yeah.
Like they're just wrapped
They'll
up
be
in the
in the
goofy.
love.
They
Amen.
don't know it's goofy.
Preach it!
So just give them some guidelines.
Yeah.
Do it well. They're a model. They're a role model. Kids are
Yeah.
watching, but kids need to see healthy dating.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can stop it.
Cool. That's good stuff, dude. All right. Next one. New youth pastor to a church. No youth ministry really going on.
Okay.
Maybe a hangout every 6 months.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, boy, I would start with where you are. So assess the ministry.
Yeah.
What kind of kids are coming? What are they already doing? And I would just do a little bit more of the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And build from there. I would also look at the possibility of, if it's what you described, nothing really going on, you want to start something happening. That's why they asked you to come and lead the youth group.
Yeah.
But if there is stuff going on, I wouldn't change too much too soon if you're new. You probably don't have to.
Yeah.
Unless there's stuff that you have to change.
Yeah.
Or there's stuff that in the interview the senior pastor said, we don't like this, or this is what, then you need to address those issues. But I would start with looking at the current, don't start with your agenda.
Yeah.
Start with, who are the kids that are already invested?
Yeah.
Who are the leaders that are already invested? What are they already doing? How can I make that a little bit better?
Yeah.
And add to it. And then I would
Yeah.
start thinking about a strategy.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
good.
like, what do we really want to do? What's our end game? And begin to add components to help fulfill that strategy.
Totally. That's good stuff, dude.
Read
Sweet. Okay. So you've had a moral failure.
Yes.
You're giving a second chance. And I just said moral failure, but you messed up bad.
Yeah, okay.
You're given a second chance. How should you move forward in terms of like regaining trust?
Gotcha. Thank
And
you.
how
Yeah.
important should you take that?
Well, I mean,
That took 2 minutes.
depending on the severity of the moral failure,
Yeah.
You may have been given the world's greatest second chance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or it may be, of course, I would get a second chance.
Yeah.
Either way, I think a sense of gratitude, a sense of humility, a sense of, I didn't deserve this position to start with.
Yeah.
Even if I hadn't messed up, I didn't deserve this position. It's God's grace that gave
Yeah.
it to me, and it's God's grace that's let me keep it.
Yeah.
And then I think the real pragmatic one would be to honestly assess what got me into that mess.
Yeah.
Like, were there things I was missing in my life, accountability or
preach it.
checkpoints? You know,
Yeah.
was I isolated? Did I just get lazy and slip into some bad habits?
Yeah.
You know, and figure out, where did I justify it?
Yeah.
Like had that ugly, Pastor Rick likes to talk about, when you find yourself in the weeds,
Yeah.
our tendency is to try to get out of the weeds too quick.
Yeah.
And he talks about, sometimes you just need to sit in the weeds.
Yeah.
You just sit in the weeds and
Yeah.
think, how did I get here so that I don't find myself in here again?
Yeah.
So that would be my thoughts on that.
That's
Okay.
good stuff, dude.
It is. We've only got time for maybe 3 more.
Okay. The ministry stress. How do I manage you have an event, you've got a parent,
Yeah.
you've got small groups, you've got everything is going
Yeah.
on at the same time,
Yeah.
and you're feeling, this youth worker is feeling, and of course, the youth worker doesn't have a army of teams
Right.
that are
Helping him out.
Yeah, how do I navigate the stress of that?
That's a great question. I'm going to give you 3 thoughts. One is, recognize that'll probably never go away. Youth ministry is stressful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, once you get through whatever this event is, there's something on the horizon. Once you satisfy this parent's concerns, there's another set of concerns.
Yeah.
Or as soon as all the parents are happy, then you've got a kid who is getting kicked out of school or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So it's always going to be there.
Wow.
Youth ministry is not
Yeah.
working at Taco Bell where you make the burritos, then you punch out and you go home. It just doesn't end. So that'd be my first thing, is just to recognize you're probably never going to reconcile the stress. Second thing would be, on a personal point, even though I don't believe in balance, I believe in health. And you've got to find time, even in the most hectic seasons,
Yeah.
to honor your day off,
Yeah.
to refresh your soul, to spend time with your family. Like, you got to keep what people would call first things first,
Yeah.
right? Because you can handle a lot of stress on the job when your own personal life is okay. And then the third thing would be organizationally. I think sometimes there's so much going on that some people just freeze up,
Yeah.
right? Because there's too much. So where do I start? I can't start. And they just procrastinate. Other people try to do it all at once. And I would say try to figure out, get a timeline of what are the things I have to do this week. What can wait till next week? And
Yeah.
just sort of maybe in the busiest seasons,
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is take an hour a week, even though you feel like I don't have an hour a week. But in the busiest seasons, take an hour a week and prioritize stuff.
Yeah.
Those would be my 4 thoughts.
Dude, that's really good stuff. Okay, I think this would be the last one.
Okay.
Last one. Okay. You have. Let's see. Man, that's some good questions here. Okay. Disruptive volunteer. They're not getting paid.
Okay.
They're doing this on their own time.
Yeah.
But they're disruptive, and
Disruptive, like
and
causing
they're-
disunity almost.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's in a way that it's not. Though it's like it's not like you can call them out and say, "Hey, you were gathering people for the purpose of trying to get me fired." Like,
It's not that blatant.
It's not that blatant. It's man, he could have probably did service. Why did he have that going on?
Gotcha.
It could have,
Gotcha.
So it's
Yep.
kind of like an underhand
Yep.
type deal.
Yep.
How would you deal with that?
Oh boy. Well, that's never easy. Most of us don't love conflict, and that is going to be conflict,
Yeah.
or confrontation.
Let me add this before you continue. Just can you think of it as a volunteer? Could be a volunteer, could be a parent,
Yeah.
and it also could be a student.
Oh, now you're talking totally different things.
Would you handle all that differently?
Yeah, I would handle it all differently.
Okay, give us some principles that could transfer.
Well, oh boy. Okay. The principles are, when you know you have to talk to somebody, talk to them. Don't talk about them. Don't hope the problem will go away, because it won't. So when you know you have to talk to somebody, talk to them. And have, if you can, some tangible examples of
Yeah.
what you're concerned about.
Yeah.
Here's examples of how I have at least felt like you're not on board. Dad, here's some examples of how I felt you have talked to other parents and shared your complaints everywhere except for with me.
Yeah.
Student, here are some examples of where it feels like you're causing disunity in our youth
Yeah.
group, and that's not a good thing. So I would talk to them directly, face to face, have some examples, have an open dialogue. Now, you're probably not going to kick a student out of your youth group, and you shouldn't. You're not going to kick a parent out of your youth group, right?
Yeah.
Now, a volunteer, you don't have to have a problematic volunteer.
Yeah.
We all need volunteers, but we don't need the wrong volunteers.
Yeah.
So I would always give that volunteer an opportunity to course correct, and I would not be afraid to say to that volunteer, hey, maybe
This
this
right.
isn't the ministry
Yeah.
for you. But I would do that over a period of a couple conversations, if I could, unless it was so blatant that it had to be dealt with immediately.
Yeah.
It hardly ever is.
Yeah.
Going back to your previous question,
Yeah.
right? People deserve second chances.
Yeah.
People mess up.
Yeah.
Sometimes your biggest critics just want to be heard.
Yeah.
They just want a chance to air it out.
Yeah.
And your biggest critics can become your biggest fans. Not
Oh,
always,
no, totally.
but they oftentimes can, if you'll allow that to happen. Dude, that was a little
That was
long.
crazy.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah. Preach it!